Hey, beautiful people. Good morning. Happy Tuesday. Okay, let me make sure I can see the chat. Do my mic check. Okay. Well, I think we all can hear that. So I'm gonna go ahead and get my treadmill going with my walking pad. Y'all already know I start walking at 2.5 just to get blood flow going. And now I'm gonna get it going a little faster. Okay. Hey Teresa. Good morning. Good morning. I'm happy to see you here. Okay, so I'm gonna start at 2.5. Let me get my watch going. That way there's no interruptions. Okay, so my watch is going. We're good to go there. How are you this beautiful day? I'm okay. So let me tell you, since you asked, a lot of people like to give that generic answer like, oh, I'm good, I'm fine. So I'm gonna give you the real answer. I am doing good. I am doing good, right? But to expand on that, as an entrepreneur, what I find very funny is that you'd ever have like a bad day, or not really a bad day, but like you either get a phone call to throw you off, a text message. And so if you work for someone, I mean, you kind of got to go in regardless, right? You still got to go to work, or you can call in sick or take some time off if you need to. But a lot of times people will go to work and just have to like suck it up, right? I think I'm at to start having people not talk to me until at least after lunch, at least after 12, 1 o'clock. Because when certain things bother me, yeah, I'll be ready to just pack it up, go lay down, just go lay down for a few minutes, not do anything. But as an entrepreneur, you got to keep moving because you ain't hurting nobody but yourself. But it's so easy just to go lay down and say, "We'll try this again tomorrow." That's like my slogan. I always say, "We'll try again tomorrow." That way I don't let it stress me out. I don't let anything bother me too much. But yeah, I'm an emotional person. I'm sensitive. So yeah, the smallest little inconvenience, pack it up for the day. Woo. But how are you doing today, Teresa? How are you doing? Trying to But today is a beautiful day outside. It is a good Tuesday. So I'm gonna try to be productive today, get a lot of stuff done. So there's no complaints. When the weather is good, I feel for the most part my spirits are good and my energy is good. I'm good at work, of course. Yeah, good old work. I feel like that's the hard. Just yeah. I, whew. I remember when I used to work for someone. I ended up getting a phone call. Yeah, I was so ready to lock that building up and just go home. What? Okay, so I'm at 2.5 miles per hour right now. I'm gonna walk for another 90 seconds at this speed, and then I'm going to increase it. The goal for the day is to walk 3 to 4 miles. I said three only because the way I'm feeling. It's supposed to be four, but I'm here. I'm here. So that's what's important. Um, I do got some good health and fitness topics. I know Hassan, who's normally on here, wanted me to talk about metabolism. So I was gonna hit that again. I know Charity asked me to talk about it before, but I guess I was gonna come at it at a different angle. Um, and then I got a couple other good things that I don't think I've hit before. But I feel like there's some good health and fitness topics. I do have from yesterday. If y'all juiced with me, so normally I juice on Sunday, but because I was unavailable to juice Sunday, I did it yesterday after the arm workout. So if you haven't done the arm and back workout, go ahead and knock that out, and then you can watch my amazing juice video. But this is what the juice came out to look like. It's like that greenish yellow color. So it got named key lime. What was it? Key lime treat. So this is key lime treat. It's actually really good. So if you're looking for something to get your vitamins and antioxidants and just everything that you kind of need, I got you covered. Every Sunday, I'm juicing. And on days that I can't juice on Sunday, I think I'm going to start trying to juice on Monday, like I did. I kind of like the way I went from working out arms to being able to juice. I was already good energy, so it just kept things rolling. But I know for this, I use ginger root, a new type of fruit that I always don't know how to say, but I think it's like Rubiton, but it's a hairy fruit. That's how they describe it. And then of course ginger root, pineapple, cucumber, and honeydew melon. So that's what was used for this amazing key lime treat. So I will be drinking this after I walk. Let me see where I'm at. I think I should be increasing. Yep, key lime treat. Yeah, you're the one who named it. So now I'm gonna move to 3.2 miles per hour. Now that I've walked for a little over 6 minutes, so I'm a little behind on increasing the speed, but 3.2 miles per hour. I think today I am going to try to move it at 3.8. So this should get me a little over 3 miles in an hour based on, yeah, I think anytime I'm over 3 miles per hour, it'll normally get me there. So, whew, today is a Tuesday. I'll just say that. I think Monday is supposed to be the bad day, but right now, Tuesday, I think we need to go to sleep and wake up again. My walking pad is always a little off. I always say don't pay attention too much to what you're on. So I don't listen too much to what it says, except for the only thing I pay attention to is the speed and the distance. As far as the calories burned, that's not really going to be accurate because it doesn't know my weight, my age. It just doesn't know a lot of different things. So it probably has like a standard. It's probably like made with like a standard height and weight type energy. So, and then because it's always about 100 calories off from my watch, and even though my watch probably ain't 100% accurate, I think it gives a little better because it does have a little more of my information. So, when y'all think y'all burn a lot of calories at the gym because of the equipment, don't pay attention to that. It's not accurate all the way. Even if you do enter in like your weight, there's still so much information that they would need to know to accurately do your calories burned. Whew. So let me see where I'm at with distance. I want to see roughly how far I'll walk in this hour. So one of the topics I want to talk about are superfoods. I don't know if you all have heard people talk about superfoods. You're kind of like, what is a superfood? Um, Superfoods are basically like nutrition rich foods that are beneficial for your health. So um, they have like high concentration of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants. So Jesse Brown, hour. Sounds like you almost done. No, I actually just got on. I got on at 11:30, and I haven't been on that long. So no, I'm only at, yeah. Let's see. Yeah, I'm only like a little over 8 minutes. So no, I got some ways to go before I'm done. um, but yeah, superfoods pretty much offer your mineral vitamins, antioxidants. I know a lot of times when I juice, y'all hear me talk about all the things that the different fruits and veggies give. So her huh. So like berries, leafy greens, nuts, seeds, um, fatty fish, avocado. I mean, pretty much the things you already know. Like I feel like a lot of people already know the things that they should eat. So I will say discernment, but I feel like not everybody has that. So maybe intuition or so basically it's just for the most part we know good foods and what's considered bad foods. Even though there's not really such thing as good and bad, it's just really about portion control and how you eat it. But as far as what gives you those vitamin minerals and antioxidants, yeah, you can't really go wrong with most of your fruits, your veggies, nuts, your you know, fatty fish. Never go wrong with spinach and diced garlic. Very true. Broccoli, cauliflower. Um, what else? But yeah, you can't. I love spinach. Spinach is also good for iron. So if you deal with um, anemia, spinach is something that's very good. So yeah, diced garlic. I don't know how I feel about diced garlic. Oh, spell. Oh, no, you're good. Um, But yeah, you really can't go wrong with any of those. The main thing that I think you all will always hear me say is all about portion control, and just staying balanced. That's the main thing. I said I was gonna start doing like a food log of all different things I eat because I think people think I just eat nothing but healthy, 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 and that is far from the truth. Especially people who are close to me know I love some pizza. So there's you just have to manage balance. Um, and you can eat definitely more of what you want to. So different topics I'm going to hit today is the 333 method, items you want to make sure you have at the gym, salt versus sugar, but really just talking about salt because I think people have a misconception of salt, and then how to eat well while traveling, and that's just to name a few to get us started. So those are a few topics. If you all have anything you want me to talk about, let me know. I was gonna wait for Hassan to get on so I can touch more on metabolism, just because that was something that he wanted, Hassan wanted me to do. Got a red pizza, pistachios last night with hot pocket for lazy days. That's funny because I think a lot of times when I go shopping, um, a lot of times when I go shopping, I tend to grab pizza. I really can't do processed pizza. And processed anything pretty much that's frozen, anything that's kept in a way that you can eat it later. It's not fresh. Um, that's the best way, simple way of me saying it. But a lot of times I will get a pizza just because it is easy and simple for those lazy days, like you said. But and what I do, I forgot what brand it is, but normally I just get like the veggies on top and I get the thin crust. Um, I probably should be getting like gluten free and all that. But yeah, I really don't want to waste my money on something that's I'm not really gonna like. I already did that with ice cream. I got the dairy free ice cream. It's still sitting in there. I tell you, that's one way you can keep up space in your refrigerator or fridge or freezer. Buy something you really don't want, but you know it's healthy, so you just keep it in there so you don't feel bad for throwing it out. But I love getting pistachios. That is one thing I normally will always get when I go out are pistachios. I think those are a great snack, but you have to be careful with pistachios because it's very easy just to keep eating them, right? It's almost like eating chips. And because of the healthy fat, you just gotta make sure you're balancing out pistachios. But I'm with you on some pistachios. I don't really do hot pockets. Um, for one, because I don't eat beef or pork, and a lot of times they have like pepperoni stuff in it. And if it's just the cheese one, I just feel like it's not worth it. um, But I'm definitely with you, Jesse. I'm glad I work in a restaurant. I'm not with my mom. Live off. You can live off work. Yes. I always say if you like something, you should work there. Oh, hold on, y'all. My shoelace come undone. I'm not about to trip. There we go. Whew. Okay. I'm bad at eating sunflower seeds too much. I feel like sunflower seeds aren't that bad though. Sunflower seeds, they're very small. It would take eating a lot of those for it to really do anything. I mean, I know the salt. I need to look at the back of the sunflower seed bag to really see what the servings are and how much it says the sodium is for that serving. Cheesecake Factory ain't too healthy, but free is free. Okay, I need to come see you then. I love me good Cheesecake Factory now. People used to hate on it, trying to say it wasn't a good date spot, but I love me some Cheesecake Factory. Um, I can't think of the cheesecake that I like, but I think the biggest thing when it comes to restaurants is you don't know how the food is being cooked. Because I think I had this discussion with my sister the other day, and people are always trying to compare pricing. Like they're like, oh, the cost of groceries now, you might as well go out to eat. But the thing is, it's not always about the cost of something. Like I think that was the biggest reason why people always use going out to eat is more of like a treat, like, oh, because you're paying more. But nowadays, the way I look at it is the way it's cooked. You gotta think you don't know how the person in the kitchen is cooking it, how much grease they're using, what type of grease they're using. They're, if it is being cooked that way, how much seasoning. You just don't know, or what type of seasoning. They're the same people who think Applebee's is romantic, all right? It's about cooking at home can easily live like $200 a month. Yeah, I think anybody like me, cooking is not in my ministry. I like to bake, I like to do air fry type stuff. But also the foods I eat don't require a lot of what people like to eat. I'm more of a rice, fish, and veggie person. I'm not really a soul food. I don't do really all those type of foods. So uh, for me, cooking's a little easier. You can't buy it pre-made. Yeah, that's the problem too. Um, that's processed, so it's gonna have a lot of salt in it. Because you got to think they got and preservatives in general. So the salt is also normally very, very high. So that's why I want to talk about salt because even when people do like these meals from these companies, it tends to be high in salt. My grandma makes a fire three green salad. Okay, come through for the salad. So I just moved to 3.5 miles per hour. Just felt like I needed to pick it up a little bit. So we've been going now for almost 18 minutes. Let's see distance. We're at 0.88. So my miles will get a little faster as we go. Dang it, this doggone shoe. I don't ever wear these. That's the problem. I got a double knot like a little kid. You just want to keep coming undone like a little child. Gotta get it together. Okay. So the thing about eating out, though, like I said, is how the food is made. That's the difference. The amount of butter that's used. Like I don't use butter, but when you go to a restaurant, more than likely they're gonna be using butter. So I think when you look at eating at home versus going to a restaurant, don't just look at the price of the cost difference of going out versus eating at home. Also look at how it's made and think about you can always I feel like at home you can make more portions. So let me give y'all even a small example. So I don't eat I try to stay away from pancakes because even though I love them, but like grits, pancakes, certain items I can't eat anymore because of my endometriosis. It causes inflammation. So I would have to get like the gluten free and everything free type of food. But and I'm simple, y'all, but I love me some good IHOP. And so I was gonna go and get IHOP the other day. And because I was like, well, I don't want to do this often, but it costs like $13 just to get like hash brown. I was gonna do turkey, bacon, eggs, and pancakes. So that's like $13. So I was like, $13. I'm already frugal. So like, do I really want to spend that? So I went on the Kroger app. I put in all the things that I would need. And then I was like, eggs are already like $5.99. And my sister was like, no, they dropped them back down to $2.99. I was like, okay. So y'all, I decided to go to Kroger. When I got everything I needed, I paid about the same price that I would have paid. Honestly, maybe it was like $1 or $2 more of what I would have paid had I went to IHOP and got the breakfast that would have only fed me one time. But I was able to get all the stuff I needed, and I can eat off that for a couple of days. So that time it helped me with price, and it helped me with how it was being made. Because I already know when you go to these breakfast spots, they use a lot of butter. Purple onion cut like this. Oh, that sounds pretty good. Okay, giving us the recipe to your grandma's salad. Okay, noted. Um, so yeah, the point I say to all that is not only the price was different, which the price may not always be the variable, but it definitely was how I made it. So I was able to put my hash browns in the air fryer, so it wasn't putting grease. Turkey bacon, of course, which they do offer that, but I was able to cook it the way I wanted because normally I thought their turkey bacon is very soggy. So yeah, think about that as well when you're trying to do restaurant versus eating at home. So for some of y'all who cook using the same ingredients, I guess for y'all it wouldn't matter. But if you're trying to lean on the healthier side, definitely know that you can cook it a lot better at home as far as health. Okay, let me see if I hit my mile. Yeah, I feel like I should at least be at a mile. I've been walking for almost 22 minutes, so I better be at a mile. Okay, I'm at 111. All right. So the next thing I want to talk about was items to have at the gym or when you're working out in general. I want to know, what do y'all be having in these gym bags? I'm just curious. I want to know, what do y'all have in these gym bags? Because I feel like when I go to the gym, I'm very simple. So what y'all be carrying? I'm just curious. And then y'all take it back to the locker room, leave it there, and I feel like, so what did you need out of there? Okay, change your clothes, and a snack, maybe. Okay. I guess because if I'm going to the gym, I normally go there and leave and come home. But okay, I get it. Some people may have to shower at the gym. Okay, so that's a good one, but I know everybody isn't doing that. Everybody isn't changing their clothes. So what else y'all got in the gym bag? What else y'all got? So what I take to the gym is, I'm very simple. I always have my headphones, whether if I go to the gym. Y'all know I don't go to the gym really. I work out at home. But if I was to go to the gym and you want to know what to have, I normally just have my headphones. Okay, you got the sweat and the sauna. Okay. I just bring my headphones. Sometimes I don't even have the headphones. Like, I don't have music playing, but I have them on so people don't talk to me. I feel like if you think I'm groovy, you ain't gonna talk to me. Does it work all the time? No. But it's the effort, right? Water or some type of electrolytes is good to have. And then if you wear some type of brace, whether it be for your knee, your back, but other than that, I just feel like I'm kind of in and out. If I'm going to the gym, I'm normally going home right after. But okay. Hey, Blackjack. Hey, thank you for joining. Yeah, okay. So those things I bring to the gym, but I get it, Jesse. People might have to change their clothes. I don't like showering at I feel like I'm a slight germaphobe, so I would never really shower at a gym unless I just absolutely had to. Yeah, I was in the military. I've had my share of being in showers, being deployed, having to, yeah, none of that no more. Yeah, go ahead, clip that. More people will tune in. It would be like B Simone when B Simone said she don't shower that often. Yeah, go ahead, clip that. Run these views up. People think I don't shower. Um, that don't bother me. um, so yeah, I like to shower at home. So yeah, the gym's not really my thing just because of all the different germs that people bring into the gym from men who don't know how to wash their hands after they use the bathroom. I think about stuff like that. Even though I try to wipe down the equipment, there's no way I'm getting the germs off every single time. But I already know men don't like to wash their hands and they be touching on everything. The sweat, it's just too many germs in the gym. So I use my own equipment at home and I have my own shower, Jesse. I prefer a physical lifestyle and home gym stuff. Yeah, I'm also more of a physical person when I go outside. I just told y'all about this amazing track I just found. What my sister told me about that's not too far from where I live. So I do like going out to the track and walking. I like walking outside. I kind of like getting that fresh air. So that's why I changed walking. Y'all know in April I was walking Monday through Friday on the walking pad, and now I only walk on Tuesdays because I like doing other um, physical activities outside just working out at home, especially because it's summertime. I'm trying to get out and about. Um, I do want to walk or do Stone Mountain again. I haven't done Stone Mountain in a while. So if anybody's in Georgia, y'all like, I want to go up Stone Mountain, hit me up so I can have a friend to go up the mountain with. Um, Teresa, you're funny. I think Jesse was just playing. You didn't have to. Well, hey, Teresa, y'all be on it. I appreciate it. I, but I think Jesse was playing with that comment. Even if not, it didn't bother me. Um, but I did want to talk to everyone about salt. When it comes to salt and sugar, my friend got a 45-pound bar and bucket of concrete. He lifts. Okay, bar and bucket of concrete he lifts. So yeah, just finding other methods. Like I feel like so many people feel like they just have to do your generic like kettlebell, dumbbells, barbell. But I feel like if you can find other things, like I love flipping tires. I actually want to buy a tire. Like when I get a little more space, I want to be able to go outside and just flip the tire. I like doing different things outside of your like basic way of working out. Um, so yeah, flipping. Yeah, that's definitely a full body workout, but I love it. It's just something different, Instead of picking up dumbbells, kettlebells, I feel like a good tire flip, full body workout. It engages that core. That's the reason why I don't really do it anymore because it does really engage the core, but it gets those quads. It really works the back. Um, so yeah, well that's cool that your friend does that. 2 years of membership. Nice little system. I heard. Oh, okay, for the house. Okay, got you. Yeah, you're right. You're right. The amount of money that you could be putting towards gym membership, you can definitely, even though equipment has gone up, especially after COVID, they increased the amount of everything because people were starting to work out at home. And just like with jobs, a lot of jobs started seeing after COVID that they could afford to have people at home and not actually have them all coming to work. So I feel like that's what happened with the gym. A lot of people start realizing, oh, I can work out at home. I do have someone I can watch on YouTube, or I don't have to pay a trainer. So it's like they start to skyrocket the price of equipment. So it's like crazy. Um, well, okay, but talk about salt because salt also goes into play when it comes to working out. But I think people have a misconception when it comes to salt because we only talk about the bad side of it. So when people talk about salt, they always talk about like hypertension, so like high blood pressure, which excess sodium. And remember, keyword was excess. Excess sodium is what leads to high blood pressure, hypertension, right? So, and that's due to water being retained, which increases the volume and pressure in your blood, which then causes it to strain your heart and arteries. And once again, it's excess because your body needs salt. So if you're not balancing it out and getting, the right portion of it, excess. So when people are like, "Oh, I can't eat salt," no, you can't eat excess amounts of salt. It also can cause kidney strain. So I'm hitting the negatives first, and that way we end on a high note because I want people to know that getting salt is important. It's just once again watching how much. Um, so it can cause, your kidneys is what flushes your body out of a lot of toxins. So your kidneys can sometimes come under strain when it's trying to get rid of excess sodium. That can lead to water retention, which then that's what leads to bloating, swelling, and puffiness. So when you're like, "Oh, my hands are swelling, my feet," that's when you've had too much sodium. So this doesn't come from just eating salt. And I think just like we talk about with calories, salt can sneak up on you because sodium in it is in everything. Um, it's even in drinks. So we have to remember we're not just getting it from our foods, we're getting it also in our drinks. So you have to be just mindful. They say, I believe it's Linda Lewis, good afternoon. You love your hairstyle, it's good on you. Thank you, Linda Lewis. Thanks for coming in and speaking in the chat. I appreciate it. Thank you, thank you. My salt intake been high. Work on salt. You right about that. I love me some salt and vinegar chips. Eat 2 large bags at night. Good thing grandma made 2, 3 healthy meals a day. You ain't never lied. I used to love me some salt and vinegar chips. Woo! I don't eat them really anymore just because of all that came out about Lay's. I feel like at some point in life, every brand out there is gonna take a hit, and Lay's got hit. Yeah, prices are stupid now for sure. The prices are crazy of everything. So with inflation, you start getting a little nitpicky. But yeah, when it comes to salt, I think we just lose track of how much you're eating. Even when I've had clients do it, I'm like, "Hey, just start track your food for one day, and you'll see how much you're getting. You're getting." So they normally say you want to get at most 1 tablespoon. I think it's tablespoon. Um, and I can look it up to make sure I'm putting it out correctly. But I think it was no more than 1 tablespoon of salt per day. Let me look it up to make sure. I don't want to mislead y'all. How much salt per day? So it says the recommended. Oh, it's teaspoon. Ooh, I almost had it all messed up. The recommended daily sodium intake for adult is less than 2,300 milligrams. But as far as the American Heart Association, I do know that for them they say 1,500 milligrams. So even though they say the recommended is 2,300, 15 as far as the American Heart Association, and it's a teaspoon, 1 teaspoon of salt. So I'm glad I looked that up. Which a lot of people find out they're consuming way more of that. Even if you look at those, what are those meal prep food delivery? If you look at a lot of their meals, even though they come off as like they're healthy, some of them do keto meals. You got to think about how are they preserving a lot of those meals, and a lot of times it's a lot of sodium. Salt and vinegar chips typically contain between 180 milligrams and 190. Ooh, wow. A small bag can contain around Jesus. That is crazy, Jesse. Thank you for giving that insight, because yeah, I definitely used to. Anybody who eats chips in general, I think one bag of chips in itself, not just salt and vinegar, but just eating a bag of chips in general probably put you over your serving size. Um, that's crazy though. I didn't realize it was that much. But okay, so let me get to I guess the positives of it. So the thing about salt is it does maintain fluid balance. So that's why you do need salt. It maintains your fluid balance in and out of your cells. So, and it supports um, your nerves, your muscles. It does help maintain blood pressure. So that's what I was saying. It's just when you have excess sodium, this is when you get the hypertension. But it does help with your blood. It helps your small intestines absorb nutrients. So it has a lot of benefits to it. I live like a king, salt on everything. That's funny. Salt and sugar is in everything. It definitely is in everything. And if I had to choose between like getting something salty or something sweet, my taste buds would want something sweet. But if I had to go with what I think is the better choice for my body, it's something salty, because salt is needed. Um, and also, if you get too little salt, it can cause dizziness, headaches, cramps. Um, and a lot of times that can come from if you overhydrate and if you sweat a lot. So that's why I feel like as kids, maybe because we did a lot of ripping and running, and just because you're normally in a healthier state, you can get away with eating all that salt. But especially if you sweat a lot, that is a good way to release it. Um, but if you are like, if you're a person that loves seafood, 'cause I love me a good seafood boil from time to time, you just have to make sure you're flushing your system out by drinking water. Um, and that's what will cause you to start using the bathroom, and you'll kind of, you'll pee it out. So, but I think the thing that most people always put salt on is high blood pressure. Like that's all you ever hear. It's like high blood pressure, cholesterol, da, da, da. And it's like, yeah, that's because you're doing too much. You're probably eating a lot of fried foods. You're probably doing all of that. But salt is definitely something you need. If you get cramps, sometimes it can come. Just think about it. They say pickle juice is good for helping with cramps, and I'm pretty sure pickle juice has salt in it. So you do need salt, but once again, just like anything else, you have to be able to balance the two. Okay, okay, y'all. I hit 2 miles. Look at me. I didn't think I would have hit 2 miles that fast. So we're like a little. Let me see. I think it was like 36 minutes. So not too bad. Definitely should hit over my 3 mile mark by the time I hit the hour. I'm not really sure if I want to go for time or distance today. People wouldn't have these issues if they walked a mile a day. Some people legit do less than 500 steps a day for weeks. Yes, and that's the problem. I think like it's okay to have a day or two where you're just like not feeling it, you're not in the mood, but it's definitely a consistency thing. If you're consistently not moving your body, if you're not physical, that's what can add to the problem. So you're right, Jesse. People who, and I get it, people work. Well, all they do is sit, but you have to make time for your health, and that's why they say the whole 30 minutes a day. But I say, like you said, if you can just do a mile of walking, even if you walk slow, can be 20 minutes. So we're not saying you got to get out there and run a mile, but even just walking at a slow pace, people love free stuff until it's about taking care of themselves, right? Or people want, the Amazon way of getting their results. Okay, thank you for letting me know. So it's still a form of salt. Okay, but it's pickling salt. I'm gonna have to Google that because I'm not knowledgeable on that. So thank you for bringing it to my attention. I'm gonna Google that. Um, I think a lot of people just don't trust the results of going to the gym, or because they just don't have the knowledge. And that's really what I think a lot of times it is for people. Even though the overall basis of going to the gym is easy to understand, like, okay, if I go to the gym, I can lose weight. But putting the right workout regimen together, understanding their body type, understanding what's going to work for them, I think that's where it gets too in the weeds for people. And for some people, fitness just isn't a passion that they're willing to dive into a little more, right? There's some things that I'd rather pay somebody to do because I just don't care enough to figure it out myself, right? And that's how people feel about fitness. And to be fair, that is okay, right? But it just happens to be that fitness is the one thing that affects your health. So, so like for me, as much as I would love to change my own brakes and change my own oil, I just rather have somebody else to do it, right? But there's people out there who love to work on cars and they will do it themselves, right? Saving them some money. For me, that is one thing I really take it to a mechanic to do. But when it comes to health, I know there's some people who feel the same way. They're like, I'd rather just get on somebody's table. So we just gotta pick and choose what we're willing to be lazy with. I don't even want to use the word lazy. That's not nice. I'll say we just gotta pick and choose what we're willing to put effort into. How's that? Fries sound good at this moment. You know, when I do fries or tater tots, I put them in the air fryer. Um, Fries are my kryptonite. I really do love fries. I think if whenever people ask that question of like, if you were trapped on an island and you only bring one food, I don't know. I mean, in my health mind now, I would probably pick a protein, but if we're going based off of what just is delicious, I would say fries or pizza. So, but I definitely try to put everything in the air fryer when it comes to things that I want that are fried or to have that fried taste. It's the air fryer. Um, Another question that I tend to get asked is, how do I eat well while traveling? I'll probably go for watermelon, get that water and fiber. Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. Yeah, I think in my mind, I'm assuming there's gonna be some coconuts or something there that I can at least drink from to get that hydration. They didn't say we were on the island with absolutely nothing. So I think in my mind, because definitely hydration is key. So that's a good one, Jesse. Um, but how to eat while traveling. I think a lot of people have a problem with this one because when we're in a normal routine of going to the grocery store, coming home, and cooking the meals, that's a little easier, right? And then anytime we get taken out of our normal routine, it makes things a little harder for how to maintain that healthy weight. So, some things I would do if I'm trying to eat well while traveling is pack snacks. And this is regardless if you're flying or in a car. Because now, on a plane, you're allowed to take food of your own, right? Y'all know that, right? My sister, she packs her meal prep foods all the time when she flies. HP, what's this equipment called? It's a walking pad. So this is a walking pad. It goes up to like 3.8 miles per hour. Yep. And just something easy. It's small. I can put underneath my bed. So I'm about to buy another one though. It has an incline. It goes up to 7 miles per hour. So it's just good to get the body moving. HP. I like Chex Mix for my snacky. Yep, I am guilty of liking that too. Even though I feel like Chex Mix does have a lot of sodium in it, uh, it is on the healthier side of snacks. So, uh, but that is one thing I would say: pack, trail mix, protein bars. Remember, protein bars only help you feel fuller, longer, and also just getting that extra protein in. I told y'all before that it's better to try to if you're trying to figure out a snack to eat, you want to make sure it's protein filled. For one, we normally don't get enough protein in, and two, protein is one of your macros. So remember, you got protein, carbs, and fat. So you want to make sure your snack is fitting in one of those categories. Um, Dried fruit is a good one. I mean, of course, Regular fruit is good too, but dried fruit, depending on where you're traveling to, and just for temperature purposes, if you're not able to control it, kind of some people like to keep their fruit cold. So dried fruit is good. Rice cakes, and the things I'm naming are things that should be pretty easy to travel with. You don't really have to worry about it being in the cooler or anything like that. Those chocolate protein bars, addictive. I don't really do too many protein bars. I know my sister does, but you also have to you have to look at the back of the protein bar, because a lot of times when it's selling one thing, it's probably either lacking in another or too much in another area. Meaning, a protein bar ideally is what selling you protein. You're like, oh, I get 20 grams of protein out this bar, right? But then it's probably high in sugar, high in calories. Like, it's always something else to it. So just make sure you're reading the package and kind of seeing the overall of what it's offering. Yeah, a lot of times I have to watch what I bring inside the house, because I definitely love. I buy the bars that have like almond and stuff on it. Y'all can't eat just one. Luckily, only 6 come in the box. So the next thing is jerky is good, but make sure you go for the low sodium. They do have low sodium jerky, but jerky is good because it can be packaged easier to travel with, and you don't have to, like I said, once again, that's something you have to maintain temperature with. Make sure you hydrate yourself before you go. So make sure you're getting plenty of water. A lot of times when you drink water beforehand, it also makes you feel fuller longer. So you're not just wanting to eat just because, which a lot of times when we're traveling, I think we're just bored. So we just want to chew on something. If you can make jerky at home, you should. Love it for okay, chill days. So when I watch different, like I love watching survival shows. I don't know why, but I do, because I hope I'm never in a situation where I gotta try to survive. But I love watching the shows, and they'll cut the meat up and then dry it out and turn it into jerky. I think that's cool. I don't ever see myself cutting up an animal and doing all that stuff, but I think it's cool on the survivor shows. So, um, yeah, but jerky, definitely a good go-to. They do make turkey jerky. They make chicken. So for all y'all who've only seen the beef, there's options for us out there. If you're traveling, try to book a place with a kitchen. Even if it's like a little small little kitchenette or whatever, try to book one where you can go to the grocery store, get some simple items, because y'all know I'm good to do just some jasmine rice, ground turkey meat, and vegetables, mix it all together. That's simple. All you need is 2 eyes for that. um, like 15 degrees, wide open. Hang meat on the okay, on the oven rack. Keep the oven open. Then you get jerky. Oh, okay, Jesse, teach us something. That's a good one. Okay, yeah, I guess that makes sense. Okay, so I think you just gotta cut it up in small pieces and then hang it on the rack. What temperature would you put the oven at? Yeah, I need to know all the details. What's the temperature? um, the other thing is, when you're traveling, make breakfast count. Basically, like 350 or 400. Okay. I feel like those are like the go-to numbers anyway, like 350, 375. So make sure you're making breakfast count when you're traveling, okay? Because the biggest thing we'll do is, for one, if we're sleeping at a hotel, a lot of times we miss out on the breakfast, right? We want to sleep in, especially if we're on vacation, we're sleeping in. Or if we're going to a business conference, a lot of times we're rushing to get to where we're going because we took our time getting dressed. But you want to make sure you're putting in the effort to eat breakfast. That way you're not making up for it later. Breakfast is one of the best times to get the protein needed. There's so many different items that offer the protein, and like yogurt, in all your breakfast meats, cheese. So people like to put cheese in almost everything. Eggs. So there's just so many different things that you can get protein from. avocado toast, so you're getting that healthy fat. So you want to make sure you're really making breakfast count. Because if you're starting off by getting that good protein, that healthy fat, and those carbs, you're then not as hungry throughout the day. And so when you get to the lunch and dinner time where normally you're eating more heavier foods, you're not wanting to eat as much of it. So you want to make sure you're making breakfast count. I cannot stress that enough when you're traveling, especially. When you're at home, I feel like you can do a better job with your lunch and dinner plans, especially when you get off work. You have more time to cook. But when you're traveling, a lot of times you're on the go a little more. So it's just, oh, let's stop here real quick. Let's just grab from here. So we want to make sure we're being more intentional about getting what we need from breakfast. It's almost like I said, it's like putting that car on a full tank of gas. You're fueling your body up. So you're not as hungry throughout the day. You're able to do more without just supplementing it with food or snacks. AK, hey, how you doing, AK? Okay, so you want to do it thin like baking slices. Okay, gotcha. I may try cutting up some jerky one day. We'll see. Maybe I just want to try it and see how it turns out. And then do you just how long do you let it sit in there? Or is it more so you just got to check it every so often just to see what it's looking like? I'm blessed, thanks. I hear that, AK. Be blessed, be blessed. So I think I was gonna hit on is metabolism. I thought Hassan was gonna be in here. Hassan asked for me to hit this topic of metabolism, but in case there's somebody else that wants to know about metabolism, the question Hassan asked me was, why is my metabolism so fast? And there are different variables to why that could be the case. So whether you're wondering why is it fast or why is it slow, it could, first thing is your genetics. The way your body is made. Oh, first of all, let me say what metabolism really is in case you don't know. It's basically, just to simplify it, is how your body burns calories, even at rest. So even if you were in bed all day, your body has to burn calories just to function, just to breathe, just do any type of movement. It's funny, Jess, we've talked about kombucha before. It's a good drink option. And I went to Kroger and I tried to get one and it had a lot of sugar in it. A lot of sugar. So once again, you gotta look at the back and see what kind you're getting. So, but yeah, we've had that talk about that drink. Hormones is the biggest reason. Hormones is one of the reasons. I won't say it's the biggest reason, it's one of the reasons. Because I deal with stage 4 endometriosis and adenomyosis, which are both hormone driven. And I don't really think that's an excuse for me. So I'm not going to speak on others, but hormones is a variable. I would definitely give you that. Hormones does go into play. I think your genetics also are a big factor. But once again, it's when you put everything in the pot together, that's what can make a difference. So your genetics, it could be your muscle mass. So the more muscle mass you have, that requires the body to burn more calories to maintain. Fat takes less, depending on how big you are. Now, if you're really big, that puts more, I don't want to say strain on the body, but essentially, and we're saying like, obese. We're not talking about, I got a little fat here. No. So a person who's larger in size can also burn a lot of calories because it takes a lot for the body to maintain that, right? But normally, when you have more muscle mass, that takes the body having to use more calories. So it could be your muscle mass, we said genetics, your physical activity. If you just sit around a lot, your body's not really needing to burn. But if you're up and about, that can help you burn. Body size, I already hit. Your diet plays a role. What type of food you're eating. I guess you can kind of say whether you're giving yourself whole foods or you're putting in your body a lot of junk. That can manipulate how your body's operating. But yeah, age and hormones are definitely a key factor. That's why people with like PCOS, I try to be understanding to people with different issues because you never know what they're dealing with. And hormonal issues aren't always seen on the outside. You know, a lot of times people are like, oh, like I know some people who do a PCOS, they grow hair on their face or they get acne. So not everything is shown on the surface level. So just be mindful of that. When it comes to people's metabolism, don't always assume it's just because they're overeating. I think a lot of people are not mindful of how much they eat, but there is something else called NEAT, NEAT, is non-exercise activity thermogenesis. And that's just like when you're doing things that's not really like a full activity, like whether you fidget a lot, and that's just making small movements, standing. Some people just like to stand versus sitting, walking, and I don't mean walking like this walking, but you may have to get up, and some people like to get up and just walk a little bit, like they'll pace. That adds up. So that's how you burn more calories as well. So there's so many different variables. It's not really a one size fits all answer on why you may have slow metabolism or fast. I feel like for the amount of activity I do, my genetics, my muscle mass, I do feel like my metabolism is slower than it should be, but that is because of my hormones and my age. I'm 37, so we can't knock that out the equation. Y'all, I hit my over 3 mile mark, woo woo. So I said my goal for the day was basically 3 to 4 miles, so anywhere between that, I just had to hit 3 miles. And I'm at 56 minutes, so always my goal is normally try to hit an hour. I didn't know what mood I was in today, so I was trying to figure out if I want to do an hour, like time or distance. So we're just gonna hit a little bit of both. We're gonna make sure we hit our hour at minimum, and then I already hit my 3 mile minimum, so I'm good there. Starting your day when you get up with a full bottle of water, really sets your system up. Yeah, I used to tell people to like at least put 8 ounces of water near their bed. I know some people like cold water. Not I. I don't like cold water, but I would say put like 8 ounces of water by your bed. That way, when you roll over, you drink it. I think it does set the mood. I think it kind of like jump starts the body. I'm not always the best at doing it, so I can't point the finger at anybody. There's been days where I don't drink until in the afternoon, depending on how my morning went. Because I wake up, I do my devotion, I do my scripture reading, and then a lot of times I'm trying to figure out my schedule for the day. You know, go to the bathroom, do your daily, your morning routine. So sometimes before I know it, I'm like, oh, what time is it? And I haven't even had anything to drink. So something I also have to get better with. See where I'm at. I thank you, Jesse, for being so engaging. It's really helped me with this walk today because I really wasn't feeling it when I first got on. It's one of those things where, I'm trying to be accountable. I'm trying to make sure I'm getting on here and I'm walking and sticking to my consistency with getting on here. But I definitely wasn't feeling it. So I appreciate you for being so engaging. Y'all know I always appreciate when y'all get on here and talk to me, whether it's one person or it's multiple. I'm so grateful for every number. My goal is to grow my YouTube channel. So, AK, try manifesting positivity and blessings for yourself. It's really powerful. Yes, the tongue is very powerful. I'm not going to hit the religious aspect of it, but I did hear manifesting. I'm not going to touch that point. But yes, AK, you're right. You're right. The tongue is very powerful, so always be very positive, right? You're good people, so I enjoy it. You're your channel. Okay, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Yeah, I'm just trying to grow my channel. Make sure it's organically. Make sure it's me being me. Just keeping it authentic. I know people will do a lot of things for views, And that's one thing I said I was not going to do. So if I have to put in the work for 365 versus people who get monetized in like 3 months, hey, I'm okay with it. I'm going to keep putting in the work, keep being me. Even on my off days, I try to bring the positivity, try to bring some good health and fitness tips. So my next workout video will be, so I think I told y'all about my leg journey. You know, it's always easy to go to the gym and hit the things that you already see progressing. So for instance, my arms are already kind of toned. So it's easy for me to go to the gym and work on those because I can see where the muscles being worked. Same with my core. But where my fat goes would be my quads and my hamstrings and my glutes, which I don't mind it in the glutes too much. But the goal is to at least lift the glutes, tone the legs. So I am going on a leg journey. The reason I say that is so every Thursday I'm going to be more intentional about posting actual long form video. So instead of going live or instead of posting a short reel video, I'm going to post like 20 to 30 minute actual leg day workout where it's going to have the music, it's going to have the timer, it's going to show you the next exercise in the corner. I haven't really been posting those type of videos because I've been going live. So now I'm going to go back to posting at least one of those once a week. But it's really going to be based off me trying to get these BBL allegations. No, I'm just playing. But it is about me trying to grow my glutes while toning my thighs. Because that's my problem area. So I think a lot of times I neglect it. And also just because of my hip and my foot and just all the different medical issues I have, I tend to like shy away from focusing on this area. But I want to feel confident. So I say, you know what? Let's take it head on. Your channel will grow, LJ. No worries. Thank you, Teresa. Thank you for speaking that. I believe it will too. I definitely think it's going to take more time. I've had it on my vision board. I feel like I know I had it on my vision board for 2024. So I know as long as I'm putting in the work and the effort, I know it'll come true. So it's been I think I'm going on 3 months at the end of this month. So like another, what's today, the 20? It's like another like 5-6 days, like another week. I would have been doing this for 3 months. Have you consulted a chiropractor for your hip? No. I've gone to the doctor. But a lot of the issues with my hip is because I have adenomyosis. I'm not sure if you know what that is, but adenomyosis affects the hip. So it's not really a adjustment thing that's needed. It's more of an internal thing. So it affects like my joints, the muscle. It's a lot. So it's more of a medical thing. I've had x-rays and things like that done on my hip because they thought that might be it, even though I already knew that wasn't what it was. And then I was diagnosed with adenomyosis like October, November of last year. So it started making more sense of connecting the dots on why I was having so many problems with my hip. At first I thought it came from my foot because I have foot problems. And, a lot of times people will overcompensate and it will lead to other problems. But no, adenomyosis causes pelvic pain. So that's what it really is. So my next video I will be posting on Thursday and I'll be live. Oh, shoot. I just realized. Friday. I may try to get on very, very early on Friday and maybe people can watch it later because I do have a track meet. I coach, y'all. I'm not running. We got regionals this weekend. So that means I'll definitely be posting a video Thursday. And then Sunday, depending on what my schedule is like on Sunday, because I don't know for sure if I will have to be there Sunday. I'll either be juicing on Sunday or I'm going to tie it into my workout on Monday like I did this past week when I didn't juice on Sunday. So either way, y'all, I at least try to give y'all something 4 times out the week. And then once track and field season is over, I'll try to add some more days in there. My sister, so for the month of July, I'm gonna have my sister come on here, talk about more about supplements and bodybuilding and just her life. Y'all see that we look totally different. We got like there's like a 20-pound difference on how we look. Very small health tip. Let the vitamin D come in your windows. Yeah, I always open my windows. That's normally why I talk about the weather when I first get on. To kind of let y'all know how it is. I did think about working out on my balcony, but yes, vitamin D. I have to take a supplement for that because my vitamin D is always very low. So it's definitely is good to get outside, do some walking. That's why I say spring and summer is always a good time to get outdoors. How beautiful is your sister? Well, we're twins, so I don't know. I'll let y'all decide what y'all think when she's able to come on. Uh, but that's my goal for July. So I'm gonna talk to y'all more about what my goals are gonna look like for July and what my content will start to look like for July. So right now, y'all know I'm on Monday, Tuesday, Friday, and Sunday. So now I'm gonna make sure I for sure post every Thursday because I am dedicated to doing my leg. So we got two chances. You're funny, Jesse. That's funny. Um, so every day, I took video of my legs. What was that? Day for yesterday. I did take a video and some shorts. That way I can give y'all the before and after. Cause I'm gonna show y'all the work I'm putting in. Even though I'm just posting the workout video once a week, I'm definitely putting in work outside of that. Because I can't really engage the core, I'm gonna show y'all what I'm doing in one of my videos. I'm gonna show y'all what I'm gonna start doing about 4 to 5 days out the week to work on my legs. So I'm gonna do a video on that. That way, if anybody else has issues like I do, right now it's 12:41. What time is it where you're at, AK? But I look forward to y'all seeing the difference, seeing the work I'm putting in, and just my overall confidence going up. Okay, so for you it's 10. Okay. 10 p.m. Oh wow. Where are you, AK? I love knowing where everybody's located. Jesse, where are you located if you don't mind sharing? I'm in Georgia right now. Okay, Jesse. Well, I feel like I Florida near Tampa. Okay. I mean, I'm very familiar with the Florida. You know, everybody knows I'm a Florida girl. AK, well, I feel like I gotta look that up. Hold on now. I'm like, let me look this up. Hold on. Well, I definitely appreciate you even more for getting on, and it's so late. Okay. Oh, it looks so beautiful. Oh, let me come visit. I need somewhere to stay though. Hint, hint. Okay. I'm trying to look at everything on the map. Ah, what Tiffany had to say? This is nice. It looks beautiful. Okay, I'm gonna keep that up so I can do some more research. But that's dope. Thank you for getting on so late where you're at and hopping in the chat. I love having so many different people from all over come in the chat and keep me company. I love it. I think that's so awesome. So that's the one amazing thing the internet has done is made it where people all over the world can connect. I just love it. And it doesn't necessarily have to be over the phone. So I really appreciate that. So some of the things we talked about today was metabolism. So if you have a slow or fast metabolism, we talked about the different variables for the reason why that could be. Superfoods, you all already know what a superfood is. It's the things that are high concentration of vitamins, minerals, antioxidants. You already know what it is. You know it's not those things you love to eat on as snacks. I grew up playing no culture like that. Okay. Metabolism getting slow. I think my metabolism is getting slow too. I mean, metabolism is gonna slow down as we age, but that's a lot of times it's because we change what we're doing, and that's why at 37, I try to make sure I stay moving because the older you get, it definitely you find less and less reasons to move as much, right? When you're young, you like playing outside with your friends, you like running around playing tag, you get on the playground. They need an adult playground, okay? That way I don't look like the crazy person wanting to be on somebody's playground. But you're not in sports anymore, so you don't really have the desire or the reason to move as much, right? So then it becomes like you become that older person walking around in the park. You know, I just feel like there becomes a lot of the physical activities are more so catered towards our children and not adults. Like it's like, oh, we gotta go hiking. Like, why can't we have some fun things to do? I want to go to the bounce house and not look crazy because I'm 37. Can we get an adult bounce house or something? Run around. Our diet is very quite different compared to where you're from, I guess. So what are like some main food items that are big there? Like if I want to visit where you are, what would you say is a dish that everybody would eat there? Or is it like the portion control that's different? Like are y'all portions different? 'Cause I know over here we don't care. It's like the more the better. We get upset if you don't give us a lot of food. I like the jump houses companies, like the demolition. Yeah, me too, Jesse. Okay. Another tip, iodine from salt helps with thyroid health. Okay. I have to look into that as well. AK says is rice. Okay. I feel like a lot of places are big on rice. And I think it's because of accessibility to rice. And a little bit can go a long way. So I feel like rice plays a role in a lot of places. And it's also because it's filling. But yeah, with it being a carb, it's also can be very fattening. Well, okay, let me not say fattening. It can the more you eat, the more calories you're consuming, which is causing you to add more weight to yourself. um, Axe throwing fun also. I have done that, Jesse. I'm an activity person. So anytime somebody's like, oh, if we go on a date, where would we go? My first answer is always something active. For one, I think activity dates break the ice. It makes it easier instead of just sitting across dinner with each other and trying to think of things to say. It kind of gives you distractions if you're active. So I thought you can't go wrong with an activity date. Top golf, bowling, things like that. Axe throwing, fun. Also, rice is really adding up your weight. I hate it. Yeah, but just because of the calories. So we got to remember calories add up to pounds. So 3,500 calories equals 1 pound. So when people talk about they're gaining weight, it's your calories. So anytime people talk about burning fat, I'm like, well, you're not trying to burn fat, you're trying to burn calories, which will equate to fat loss. Yeah, I know it's tomatoes getting technical, right? But it's all about the calories. So rice, it's just so easy to eat. I already know when I cook my rice, for one, I just pour it till my ancestors say stop. So I don't use a measuring cup. I just kind of go. And so even when I put some on my plate, I just put what my eyes desire. And so a lot of times that's more than what the body needs. But so I get it. Rice is very easy to consume. A lot of I like things I can take my cousin to. He's 7 and now single mom. Yeah, I'm definitely uh that adult that likes being around kids. That's why I have a youth track and field team. I love and I'm still very competitive. So I try to compete from time to time. So but I think that's the biggest thing when it comes to our metabolism is we make a lot of changes as we get older. We're not moving the same as we used to. And when you really think about it, just take some time one day and really sit down and reflect on the differences of when you were younger versus now that you're older. Stress levels different. So you got to remember, cortisol does, the hormone cortisol is also what can affect. So we're always, like for me, I know I'm always talking about like endometriosis and adenomyosis, but for just the average person, the hormone cortisol is what can also cause problems with your metabolism. So you got to think when you're a child, you don't really have problems like that. Your biggest problem is someone that want to play with you or something like that, right? The older you get, now we're dealing with bills, we're dealing with relationships, we're dealing with deaths of family and friends. So we just have more issues. And so our cortisol levels change. So that is the biggest thing when it comes to our metabolism. So that's why I try to work on my stress levels. I used to be that person who has to win in every argument. I have to be right. Now I wave the right flag. You got it. You're right. I respect what you're saying. I just give it to them. So if you're wondering why your metabolism is slowing down, look at your physical activity level. Are you as active as you used to do? Which the answer is probably no, especially if you used to be in sports. I mean, you probably had practice 5 days out the week. You then had like some type of game or meet on the weekend. So you're always on the go. I raised the right flag. I did it too many. You're so funny. Hey Joy, what's going on? Thank you for joining the chat. But I'm telling you, if that's the one takeaway when it comes to your metabolism, I would say work on your stress levels. People don't realize, they think, and even when if you're a yeller, come on, take that out. If you yell a lot, that can also play on your hormones, right? Because your body is feeling stressed. It thinks you're stressed. So the way you talk, try to smile a little more. But cortisol is the one thing you definitely have to make sure you're taking care of, making sure you're getting sleep. So ashwagandha, melatonin, don't just give it to the babies. We need to take it too. Make sure we're getting that good sleep in. But yeah, if you're worried about your metabolism, those are definitely some things I reflect on. What is your body looking like now? When we were younger, we're probably thinner. So you probably have more lean muscle mass. Lean muscle mass burns more calories than fat. So if you've gotten older, you put on more weight, it's gonna slow down a little bit. Okay? Body size matters. And like I said, I think the only reason why age comes into play is because, like I said, we slow down a lot. We get jobs that require us to sit down. We don't get no recess no more. So that's why we have to make our lunch break or anything. Anytime we have some space to step away from our job, we have to make sure we get some type of movement in. And like I said, it doesn't have to be working out. People always think working out has to be dumbbells. No, you can make it fun. What time sure do fly? It definitely does. Time flies. I'm definitely trying to figure out. Sometimes I feel like, what happened? How did I get here? I feel like mentally, sometimes I feel like I'm in my prime, and I'm like, girl, we knocking at 40. Woo. So Um, but y'all, okay, so yeah, that's what we talked about today: metabolism, superfoods. I didn't really hit the 3-3-3 method. The 3-3-3 method was a way of working out if you're busy at the if you have a busy schedule. Now you can work out at the gym, and then I'll touch on that another time. Items to have at the gym. I kind of touched. I kind of keep it simple when I go to the gym. Well, I don't go, but when I do go, I keep it very simple. Normally, if I'm going to the gym, it's to use like the Stairmaster because I have a lot of weights at home. Um, we talked about salt and how it is needed. So just make sure you're mindful that salt is needed, but it's the excess salt that isn't needed. So excess. Um, your body needs a teaspoon of salt. So it says 2,300 milligrams, but Heart Association says 1,500. So I would recommend using an app like MyFitnessPal, not for calories or anything like that, but just so you can see the breakdown of your foods, and it'll give you a good idea of where you're sitting with your salt and sugars and other items. It breaks down pretty much everything. Then we talked about how to eat well while traveling. I know that's a big one for people, just because you're out of your regular schedule. So we talked about that. But yeah, you all, I'm gonna slow my walking pad down. Remember, anytime you've been working out, you want to make sure you don't just stop completely, especially if you got your heart rate up to a decent rate. Mine didn't get too high just because I was walking, but I still like to get into a routine of just like slowing myself down, get my heart rate back down, and then get off. And a spool, I've never heard of that. And a spoon of oil. What type of oil are we talking about? So I slowed my walking pad down to, I think it's like 2 point something miles per hour. I might need to slow it down more than that. So we're gonna put it at 1.8, kind of just where I'm kind of barely walking. Just to get the heart rate down. I've been going now for 81 and a half minutes. We're at 4.5 miles. Wow. So it's crazy. Okay, olive oil. Okay. I just want to make sure we're on the same page. I use olive oil for my cooking. So that, yeah, that's the only, if I do use any type of oil, it is olive oil. But other than that, I really don't use. I've had that olive oil, and it's not even that big of a. It's like that big, and I've had that for going on 8 months. So that lets you know how often I've used it. Um, whew, it's so crazy. The days where, and that's why they say you should go to the gym on days you don't feel like it, because the days you don't feel like it, or work out in general, should I say, not the gym, but work out, because those are the days where you get the best work. I wasn't really in the mood to work out, and I got on and I was like, I'm not gonna do 4 miles today, I'll just do three because I'm not really in the mood. But got on today and I actually surpassed my goal. So now I'm at a little over 4.5. So the day that you don't feel like going or working out in general is probably that you need it the most, because you probably don't feel like working out because you're probably dealing with something mentally. And it doesn't mean like depression or anything like that. It just means you had a heavy day, or you're just dealing with a lot. And so I really feel like if you work it out, it'll make you feel 10 times better. I had a bad experience trying to cut my oil consumption. What happened? What was how you had a bad experience with it? When you say your oil consumption, were you eating? Was it like how are you doing it? Were you doing it through like, are you being like fried foods, or you mean you were cooking with like olive oil, and when you try to taper off, like I want to understand, how did it become a bad experience? This drink looks so good and cold. The color may not look the best to y'all. I think it's a pretty color, but because it's different and I know what's in it, but it just looks so cold. And after walking 4.5 miles, I can't wait to drink it. Remember, I'm also juicing ginger root. So for those of you who do deal with gas or bloating, nausea, inflammation, Ginger root shots are good to do. It kind of helps settle your stomach. So I do take shots from time to time. I feel like if you can take a shot of alcohol, you can take a shot of ginger root. It's spicy, I will tell you that. It's spicy, so make sure you have some water or some type of juice or something nearby to drink at behind it. Um, okay, my heart rate is getting down pretty good. I just try to make sure it's below 100. I was trying to wait on you, AK, to explain your bad experience before I get off. But once again, I want to thank everybody for getting on today. I definitely made my I don't feel like walking day a great day. It's very encouraging and motivating, so I appreciate it. I'm happy to know that I'm at 4.7 right now. So I'm happy to know I'm almost at that 5 mile mark. So before the day is over, I know with all the walking I'll do, I'll definitely hit over 5. So I appreciate it. Thank you, Teresa. So I will be posting a leg day video on Thursday. So if you're looking to tone your quads and thighs, make sure you tune in. It won't be a live video. It'll just be posted like a regular video posted on my channel. It'll be a good workout though. I have to move a little slower and working lower body, but I'm still gonna get the work done, okay? And then I won't be able to post Friday because I'm thinking over it in my head again. I probably won't be able to post Friday. So I'll try to keep y'all posted. You know, I love leaving posts on my channel. I love to communicate with you all, let you know what I got going on. So I'll let you know if what I got going on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday to see if I'll be posting any of those days because I do only post Friday and Sunday. So we'll see if I'm able to throw something else in there. I may have to post a standard workout instead of a live. I was avoiding fried foods a bit too much and got some stretch marks in between. But do you think that came from that though? Matter of fact, I'm gonna add it to my list, AK. We're gonna talk about stretch marks. We're gonna talk about stretch marks. We're gonna talk about when you go from. I'm gonna do some research on that because I want to see how those two connect to each other. You were told so by a doctor that by avoiding fried foods is what caused it. I've never heard that ever in my life. I'm not saying you're not telling the truth. I've just never heard that. So, but I want to talk about that though, because I know a lot of people deal with stretch marks either from getting pregnant or being a certain size and they lose weight quickly. Yeah, I'm gonna look that up, AK. I'm gonna look it up. And I'll make sure I talk about it on another live because a lot of people do deal with stretch marks or they worry about stretch marks. But I'm not sure if it necessarily came from you avoiding the fried foods. The only way I can see it making sense is if you were a certain weight and you lost weight kind of fast and it caused you to get stretch marks. I have heard that before, but I'm gonna do some more research into that. That way, I'm not giving false information. But that's the only way I've heard that. Just like when people get pregnant or when people gain a lot of weight, they start to get stretch marks. Either it's because they're gaining weight and it's stretching their body more, or when they lose weight very fast. But I've never heard from eating healthier, I got stretch marks. I think there was the way they tied that together just was they went around a couple of other things. But okay, noted. So I'll look into that. I'll look into that for sure. But thank you for sharing that. I appreciate it. So once again, tune in or look for my video. I'll probably post it at 11:30 on Thursday. I will be posting it 11:30 Thursday. Do the workout with me, not live, but still do it with me. And I'll let you know what I got going on this weekend. Otherwise, if I'm not able to see you all this weekend, I'll definitely be back Monday for sure. That's when we got arms, back, and then we'll do another juicing video together. So I thank you all for joining me today. We hit we hit right about 89 minutes of walking. So I'm at 4.80 to be exact as far as miles. Before you leave, you have to manifest your channel will grow. Okay. So I manifest and I pray to God that if it's in His will, that my channel will grow organically, that I can be authentically me, that more and more people will come in and want to know about health and fitness. They will learn about endometriosis, adenomyosis. They will bring good energy. My moderators will continue to be top flight security and block out all the negativity that may come on my live from trolls. But I'm going to continue to put in that work, and my channel is going to grow. So thank you, AK. I put it out there. So God willing, that is what happens. So thank you so much for that. You all make sure your notifications are on so you know when I'm going live. I enjoyed the encouragement. So y'all tap that bell, hit that like, make sure y'all subscribe. Be part of the reason why I grow. But thank you all. Y'all know what I always say. Be kind and be safe. Y'all enjoy y'all Tuesday. And for those of you who are different parts of the world, have a good night. All right, y'all. Thank you for joining me.